Tennessee Titans have new uniforms coming, a whole new set.
Rumors about the Tennessee Titans' new uniforms have been swirling for months. And it's true. The Titans will be wearing a redesigned jersey for the upcoming 2026 season. But that's not all. The Titans will also be unveiling a brand new logo. These changes are coming fast, like before the draft. With fan speculation and mock-ups running wild, we're getting to the bottom of the Titans rebrand today. What will the Titans' new logo be? What are the jerseys going to look like? Uniform Insider Zach Cohen, who does social media for FanDuel, joins us today on the Music City Audible to break it all down. So let's get to it. The Titans will be getting new uniforms in 2026, and we're breaking it all down today. We got a great guest coming up in just a minute. Zach Cohen knows more than there is to know about uniforms and the new uniforms coming to the NFL, so he's going to give us some insider thoughts and some news that he has not shared anywhere else about a Titans alternate jersey that could be coming within the next year or two. But the new uniforms, the new logo, coming this year, maybe as soon as a couple of weeks, maybe as late as a couple of months, but before the draft, we will have this new information. The Titans last introduced new jerseys in 2018. NFL teams are allowed to submit for a new jersey design every 5 years. So the Titans have waited 8 years. They're well within that legally required timeline by the NFL to introduce new jerseys. It's a super exciting time for fans with a new head coach, a number one overall pick quarterback who looked like a future star in his rookie season, and now new jerseys and a new stadium all coming together. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Music City Audible podcast presented by Sinkers Beverages, the premier wine, spirits, and beer store in East Nashville in partnership with 440 Sports. I'm your host, Justin Graver, full-time NFL podcast producer for Odyssey. I'm joined as I always am by the managing editor of Titan-Sized, author of this beautiful published book, and writer for the Draft Network, Justin Melo. Justin, sorry for the long intro. How you doing today? Are you excited for this conversation?
Well, don't you dare apologize, because you bet your rooster I'm doing well, because this episode right here, ladies and gentlemen, this episode right here, we've already recorded with Zach. I think you guys are smart enough to know that, right? He's not joining us right now live, so we're about to bring him on. This episode with Zach was unbelievable. The amount of sourced information, sourced reporting he has done and gathered on these Titans' new uniforms and logos, potentially, I should say, is incredible. Boy, are you guys in for a treat today. I gotta say it again, I'm doing well, because this is a banger of an episode we have on deck for you guys.
If you're new to the channel, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We got tons of Titans content every single day. Don't miss it. Subscribe and drop your thoughts in a comment below as we go through this conversation with Zach. We're going to look at mock-ups of logos, of helmets, of uniforms created by Titans fans that we pulled off Twitter. Don't worry, we're crediting every design that we are using today. And we're talking to Zach about the information that he's uncovered. So make sure you're following Zach Cohen everywhere you use social media at Zach Cohen, COHENFB, at Zach Cohen FB. Follow him for all the latest. But instead of following him, Justin, why don't we talk to him? Let's bring him onto the show now. The man who has been dominating Titans Twitter with his TikToks on the Titans uniform and logo updates. He does social media for FanDuel, and to me, he is a uniform insider. Zach Cohen, welcome to the show. How's it going today?
I mean, it's going great after that intro. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on. I always love talking about uniforms. I kind of never really expected it to go in this direction, but especially with the Titans, man, lots of thoughts, lots of tidbits to talk about. I'm happy to be here.
And guys, some quick background info that you may or may not care about, but when Graver sent the idea to me, he said, "You think we can get this guy on?" I said, Zach and I worked together a couple of years ago. I love Zach. I can't believe this is the same Zach. So I really like Zach. I hoped he had really liked me. I guess he did because he came on the show. So I was thrilled when Graver sent this my way. I'm like, I'm pretty confident Zach's going to come on.
Oh, yeah. Hey, big fan of yours, Justin. Come on. Always have been, always will be.
Well, the feeling is mutual.
We appreciate you making some time for us today. And let's start with this. Your report, I've seen it in a couple other places. The Titans are going to have new jerseys for the 2026 season, not 2027 when the new stadium opens, but this coming year, they will be wearing new threads. Back in October, you reported that the Titans were, very quietly, I might add, one of 5 teams to file for new uniforms for 2026. So I think a lot of Titans fans are kind of familiar with the process because we wanted the Oilers uniforms so bad. We knew when it was first reported or announced that the Oilers throwbacks were coming back, that it had to be done a year in advance of the season. So you're telling us that that has happened and that these uniforms are coming in a few months.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be out before the draft. And that's really what needs to make sense. You know, you want fans buying the new jerseys of whichever player they draft, whether that's Ruben Bain or some guy they trade down for. Like, they need the merchandise available. So a little look into what that process is. When these jerseys come out, a lot of people, a lot of fans, and through no fault of their own, are going to be like, oh, wow, they really timed this up with their new coach. Oh, they wanted it for their new stadium. That latter part does have some play in it. But the process officially starts 18 months prior. So if a team like the Titans wants a whole new uniform set before the 2026 season, they have to have that finalized with the league by March 1st of 2025. And I say finalized, not the designs, not what it's going to look like, but just the, hey, we want to do this. We're going to do it. So this has been in the works for a long time. Maybe they've been discussing it for even longer than 18 months. Who knows? Sounds like they have been. But there are all sorts of signs throughout the process that kind of indicate that this has been moving forward, because just because you indicate with the league on that March 1st deadline, 18 months prior, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to happen. There are certain stepping stones throughout the process. You know, there's the July 1st deadline. There's the November 1st and December 1st deadlines. You got to test it with TV partners. You got to, probably want to test it with your executives and your equipment managers and make sure that it looks good in certain aspects. There's a whole bunch of thresholds that they have to check off, and they did. It's happening. And there are certainly a bunch of signs to indicate that it's going to happen too.
One of those signs that you've talked about is the fact that the Titans have discounted their current jerseys. If you go to the team store online, basically every single jersey available is now being sold at a discount. I imagine they're trying to move some product off the shelves. What's up, Justin?
Isn't it also merch, not just jerseys, isn't it also merch items that have the flaming thumbtack logo on it? I think that's important to add, Graver. That's why I interrupted, because it's not just jerseys, it's everything that's got the flaming thumbtack logo attached to it.
Oh, yeah. And look, when I heard about this happening, the Titans logo, I think I reported about it. I had a hunch in like the middle of January, because I had some information from people in the retail process. And I've said this too, so this is no secret. When retailers, they put in bulk orders for these merchandise, they usually do it by the team set unless it's a team specific store. So when they do these bulk orders, they get a preview of everything that they order. If you're, a Miami Dolphins fan like myself, like you get to see all your Dolphins merchandise, what it would look like, the colors. All the Titan stuff, you didn't get the preview for it. And there was another team too in there, but I think I'll keep that for another show. There was a Titans, all that merchandise, you couldn't see what it looked like. So that immediately throws up a red flag, right, when I'm told about that. And then it just happens to line up that all the current player jerseys for the Titans were discounted. And all the, like you just said, Melo, all the merchandise with the the flaming thumbtack logo is discounted. And they were one of the only 5 teams to have discounts for the jerseys. And as of right now, the only team to have discounts for the merchandise. So again, it all adds up. One thing isn't the only indicator. It all kind of needs to be these different signs that I've talked about and we've talked about here. If I hadn't known prior, maybe it'd still be a little more guessing, but it's a certainty. New jerseys, new logo, all coming, will be out before the draft.
Right. And this isn't just, to be clear to our audience, this isn't just us connecting dots here. We are connecting these dots with the merchandising and the, no pictures and all that. But you also have it on, good account from a reporting, like from a source that we will not obviously disclose here. But this is happening. So let's get to the logo, because you mentioned it's coming before the draft. I'm sure we're going to get an announcement from the team at some point in the next few weeks, month. Like, what's the timeline that you would expect this news to actually be officially announced by the team?
Yeah. The deadline, for sure, like the week before the draft. That it could come as soon as, the week after the Super Bowl. My guess, and this is just based on the timeline of previous instances with other teams, is that around the beginning of March, they'll put in an official teaser, and then the official unveilings will happen maybe 2 weeks before the draft. That's my guess. So I know it's February just happened. We still might have to wait a little bit. I know there are a lot of people sick online of all the mock-ups and all the theories and whatnot, but that should be the timeline I'd expect. Again, no official word on when that's exactly going to happen. Just looking at everything that's happened with previous teams in recent years, changing uniforms and logos.
Graver, the run that we've been on, they're probably right now. If we go check Titans Twitter, they probably tweeted the new jersey while we're doing this pod. The way we've been the running joke, Zach. Every time we've recorded an episode this week, the Titans have made that episode not very timely. We're talking about when are they going to hire a defensive coordinator? Well, 10 minutes after we record. So chances are, maybe it's out there, Graver. Who knows?
Yeah, one episode we actually had to just stop and scrap and go live because we were missing breaking news. But talking about this new logo, basically all the speculation out there, and I think you've said this as well, is that the flame part of the flaming thumbtack will be gone. A more simplified, I guess they'd call it a shield. It's the T inside a circle. That's what you've heard. Is that correct? But you've also heard that might not even be the primary logo anymore?
Yes, let's run through all this. So I was told by multiple people that not only is the understanding of the flames are gone, they tossed water on it, they're out, but also that all the plans and tests that they ran with the logo is not centered around anything to do with their current logo. And initially, I was told there were plans to use pretty much what the Titans logo is now, just without the flames. There have been pictures and images of times that the Titans have used a similar logo, like in their new stadium renderings, where it's pretty much just the shield with that Tesla T, no flame. So initially I was saying, I expect it to pretty much be that. But then, not even like 24 hours later, I found I had good reason to believe that if that is a logo they use, that'd only be a secondary logo, because I've been told that they tested and prepped multiple logos for their primary logo that did not have to do with that, but were rather just a variation of their sword alternate logo. And judging by the reactions from Titans fans, that's a bit more welcome news. I've seen, very 50-50 on what people think about the current Titans logo. I like it, not perfect, but I like the flames. I also like the sword alternate that they have right now. I would not want that logo that you just showed to be their permanent logo. And again, I'm not a Titans fan. I've got a set of eyes. I know it looks good. This isn't the NBA, but I think that's fine as a secondary logo. So, really to sum it all up, what we can expect is that they do use that logo, be in a secondary fashion. Primary logo, from everything I've been told, everything I've reported, it sounds like some variation of the sword. What those exact details could be, there's been a lot of speculation about that. I have my guesses. I know what I've been told, but nothing really enough concrete yet for what the exact look of that sword will be.
Graver, I think a lot of our viewers probably know this, but maybe important context we don't want to skip over. That image that you put up on the screen of that sword in the circle, the T in the circle, like what might be the alternate logo, that picture comes from the Titans house, right? Which is the current fan experience center, if you will, for new Nissan Stadium, the stadium that's opening in 2027. So this is actually on the wall at the Fan Experience Center, where fans can go learn about the new stadium, inquire about becoming a season ticket member, things of that nature. So where there's, I mean, again, Zach is full on reporting this, but if you're still hesitant for whatever reason, that is at the Fan Experience Center where there is smoke, there's fire. And or maybe there won't always be fire because they're putting out the flames. Where there is smoke, there's fire. That is on the wall, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Nice.
That was a good pun, Melo. I got to give you credit for that one. All right. They are also obviously with the new logo. This is a full-on rebrand. It's not just new jerseys. It's not just a new logo. The new jerseys, like I said before, it makes sense with a new stadium coming in 2027. But they're doing this a year early. We don't really know why. I'm assuming you don't know why. You just know that it's happening. Do you think it's weird that the jerseys are coming out a year before the stadium? Do you think it's to like drum up extra additional excitement that leads us? Like, so we have stepping stones like jerseys, stadium, and then I don't know what's next. Super Bowl?
Hosting a Super Bowl, maybe. Playing in it, probably not as likely. No offense. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I shouldn't really make any jokes. But I don't know. I think my guess is, and this is really the only logical thing that makes sense to me. And yeah, they're excited about it. They've been talking about it for a while. They want to get it out. It's a long process to get uniforms and logos out. But also, like, you know, you have the 2026 season. You need to still get people into the games. You have new merchandise. You can still make money off that. But also you could prep the new stadium for the new logo and the new uniforms. If you unveil a new stadium, you want to have pictures of your players up there. You don't want to have them in the old uniforms. You don't want to put some AI slop up there, photoshopping in whichever uniform they decide to roll with. So nice to have a year of it under their belts, get the brand right. And then, all right, you got the excitement of the new brand with uniforms and logos. Then you get the excitement of that awesome new Nissan Stadium they're building out there.
Yeah, if they're going to put big banners with players and jerseys on the sides of the stadium like they have on the current Nissan Stadium, then you're going to want those players to be, like you said, in actual photographed versions of the new uniforms. Should we get to some mock-ups? Justin, do you have any other like info questions?
Yeah, I think I do, if you don't mind. And if I'm jumping ahead, you could stop me and we'll cut it out. And the people will never know. But one thing that gave me pause, Zach, that I don't know anything about this stuff. I don't. So I went to the DMs. I dove in your DMs. Probably not the prettiest person who was in your DMs that day, but I was in there nonetheless. And the thing that threw me off, again, as someone who knows nothing about this, I was surprised, and you educated me, and I want you to do the same for our audience now. I was surprised that they would do this in the same year that we have confirmation that they are definitely going to be launching a rivalry jersey this season, right? The Nike, if you guys aren't familiar, I'm barely familiar, but this past year, we had a couple teams launch these like one-time rivalry. I think the Seahawks wore them this past year, a couple other teams in the NFC West. It's like a campaign that's running through divisions, if you will. And we knew a year in advance the Titans are going to have these in 2026 for sure. It's like almost a third alternate they're going to wear once or twice, however you want to prop it up. It surprised me that they would do that the same year that they're launching a full-blown new uniforms. But you educated me on why that does make sense. So do the same for everyone watching.
Yeah, definitely. The Rivalries uniforms, I think, were a pretty big success, whether people disagreed or not. Made a lot of money. I thought most of them looked pretty good. This has kind of been also glossed over, you know, regardless of whether this new color scheme, new branding incorporates Navy. It's going to be the AFC South and the NFC North. Nike and the NFL came out and said, this is the schedule for the next 4 years for when these teams are going to be getting these uniforms. So of the 8 teams, I was actually able to already confirm, I think also in October, that Rivalries uniform is going to be Navy. Vendors have already seen the color listing for it. It's going to be Navy. So whether it started from the NFL Nike side or the team side, you can make your guesses with it. But it makes sense that if they're going to unveil a new alternate uniform, it's going to have the same template or a similar template or definitely the same branding as their new uniforms. And I want to bring the attention to the Rams. So the Rams are one of the other 5 teams, at least that we know of, that I've reported as of now, to be getting new uniforms in April. What they exactly look like, how new they are, I don't know. But it was pretty obvious when the Rams unveiled theirs in 2025 with the NFC West, they had some subtle changes to it. You know, they had the Ram horns going all the way around on the sleeve rather than just being cut off like
The
the primary
rivalry, you mean?
template. The
Like when they
Rams
unveiled the
rivalry.
rivalry.
Yes. So the Rams rivalry uniform, that midnight color that's actually a really dark blue, not even black for some reason, had some minor tweaks on it. Didn't have the LA Rams name tag. It had that full horn sleeve. So immediately it makes sense that they would unveil, that if they were to unveil new uniforms, they would mimic that template. It's kind of the same thing I'm thinking about with the Titans. Now, some of these rivalries uniforms are a little bit bonkers, very different than the primary template. But it does. That's why it makes sense that they all could be rebranded and redesigned and pushed out together for the Titans. So I'm not shocked by it. I know it's technically a Nike initiative. I would imagine that they were working very close in tandem. Maybe Nike put some pressure on the Titans ownership to push out their rebrand a year earlier. Maybe that's why they're coming out a year earlier to line up with the Rivalries uniform. Regardless, I'm happy that they decided to line it up with the Rivalries uniform because we just wait and speculate another year.
Graver, I'm starting to feel like the Charlie Day meme a little, where you're putting all the things on the wall. Because listen,
yeah.
you know where my mind's going. Like we've heard, I don't know how much we can take Warren Moon seriously, but we've heard from a couple different places that if Oilers colors, light blue, white, whatever you want to call it, love you blue, if they are going to be prominent in the rebranding, where my mind goes is it would make sense what Zach just said, that the Nike rivalry jersey would be a good opportunity to keep a Navy uniform in the initial color scheme while the white and the baby blue takes the focus of the rebrand.
Yeah. And if I could actually add to that too, it adds an even another layer, whether you want to believe Moon's comments or not. I think the biggest thing with that is that you already know that last season the Titans didn't have any alternate uniforms.
They never wore the Oilers.
Never wore the Oilers, never wore the Navies. Typically, that's a sign of changes to come. We see that every year where a team drops an alternate and the next season they unveil a new one. The Titans, one of the only, I think, 2 or 3 teams to have no alternates whatsoever. Another flag, putting that one up there. And I did, by the way, this is also disappointing. Just to add to this conversation, back in October, I also reported, I confirmed it then, I can confirm it now. The Oilers throwbacks are not coming back next year, which is sad. They are my favorite uniforms in football. I love everything Oilers. I think it's the best aesthetic in sports history. Not a Titans, not an Oilers fan. But again, it's like, okay, well, if they're not going to bring it back, then it does add credibility to all this reporting I've done, all this speculation out there that they will look more like the Oilers color scheme and uniform.
Yeah, and I think all those points make sense. Warren Moon said, he doesn't mind Cam Ward taking his number one jersey. This was last May that Warren Moon said all this?
Yeah, might have been March, maybe.
Yeah, well, it was after Cam Ward was drafted, so it was definitely after the draft.
Right.
But he said nobody's gonna these Oilers uniforms will not be worn again. He also went on Kay Adams' show, and I played a very, very brief clip at the very top of the show, and said that the Titans' new uniforms, the mock-ups he's seen, look futuristic, but also of this era, and they will continue to evolve and feel in time as time goes forward. So with that in our minds, now I will also note, Paul Kaharski has pushed back against this a little bit, saying that he doesn't necessarily believe the Titans had any firm or advanced mock-ups back in May of last year, that was a little too early in the design process for them. So he's not sure what Warren Moon might have seen. Maybe it was the logo and not the uniform. What do you have, Justin?
I'm sorry, but I also think there's a chance that Moon knows or knew that something new was coming, but might have also mistaken like an online mock-up for something more legitimate. And let's be honest with you, he's like your dad's age who goes online and maybe gets fooled by something he sees online a little bit. No disrespect, right? But I think it's possible that he knows something new is coming, but might have been mistaken in what he saw maybe not being legitimate.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. I mean, I know, like I've said countless times, we know that they've tested these designs and these color schemes to make like they're similar to the Oilers look. I can't imagine there was any one concrete thing back then. I do have to give a shout out to Kay and her golden producer, Matt Hamilton, because I was talking to Matt ahead of that, like, hey, please, you got to ask him. You have got to make sure. Ask him about the uniforms. And it's just crazy how like that one comment has spiraled into all these mock-ups and all these things. I don't think there'll be a chrome helmet, but like you never know. You really don't know.
Wow, that's crazy that you are the genesis of Warren Moon giving those comments to Titans fans, which at the time, I think most Titans fans, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone. For myself, at least, I was like, okay, cool. Maybe in like 2 or 3 years, the Titans will unveil new uniforms. Yeah. I didn't really realize that this was coming this fall, and not just this fall, but as you said, an announcement in the next couple of months or sooner. Like, I just didn't realize it was happening all so quickly until I really started diving into it. And speaking of diving into it, let's dive into some mock-ups because we've shown this Titans House logo now, right? It's the flaming thumbtack without the flame. Does that make it a thumbtack? We'll call it the shield now because that's a nice... It's a T and a shield. That's a nice, pairing with the sword, a sword and a shield. So first logo concept I want to look at was actually created by you, Zach.
Oh, great.
And now, as we've talked about, this is more likely to be the secondary logo, not the primary logo. But I like what you've done here. I like the color scheme. I will say I really like the navy from a graphic design perspective. Like, I can't imagine going to TennesseeTitans.com and the whole website is this color. I feel like that screams at you a little too much. Justin, for our show, are we going to have to change up our box look and our logo and get rid of the navy? Like, is the navy going away or is it just receding into a secondary color?
Oh, man, I hope the navy doesn't go away. Would I like it if it took a back seat to this beautiful Columbia blue? That's like my favorite color shade in sports. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, when they talk about the secondary logo, and I know we got a lot to run through, so I'll be quick with these. I could see, some different variation of the outline, of the color scheme, but regardless, like that one at the Titans house, something like this, that should be what's expected for this secondary logo in some look. This though, I think this is a bit much. That's a bit much. That looks more like the cover of a Percy Jackson book than probably a football team.
Yeah, that's right. So we're looking at a mock-up now created by Trey Wynn. Shout out to Trey Wynn. It's very Greek inspired. And I said this to you, Zach, before we started, but when I was looking at just like the circle T mock-ups, for me in my brain, I wasn't putting shield together with that. I was just thinking like, because it's a flat circle, When I see Trey's mock-up here, this looks like a shield. This looks like a Percy Jackson, as you said, or like something out of 300 Spartan Greek warriors would tote this around. I like it from that standpoint, incorporating the Greek elements, because that's where the whole inspiration for the Tennessee Titans, the Parthenon in Nashville, all the stuff that connects Greek history and mythology to the Tennessee Titans name. This brings that. I mean, you get that right away from this. I do agree, though, it's a lot. It's like it's a little too not realistic, but maybe too many elements. The Greek key running around the outside ring. Like, I don't know. Justin, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think it's nice-ish, but probably not realistic. It's not what it's going to look like. I
like the use of Greek. I like the Greek pattern. I think they maybe could get it right, but I don't know. Is there any other things that have that, or other concepts that are completely different? Because I don't hate the Greek pattern, but I don't know. Good edit, I say, at least.
Yeah, great job, Trey, on this one. And as we talk about the sword potentially taking over the primary, I don't have many sword options. This one from Ghost Titan. If you're super obsessed with the new uniform concepts and mock-ups and all that, go to Twitter and follow at X Ghost Titan X, because this guy, or I'm pretty sure it's a guy. You know what? I don't want to assume anyone's gender. This person has been putting out tons and tons of mock-ups, and they all look really sleek and nice. They're not all my favorite designs, but the quality of the mock-up themselves. Great job, Ghost Titan on Twitter. He created this sword variation logo that incorporates the Oilers oil derrick into the actual shape of the sword. I think this is really slick. I don't know if the Titans are actually going to incorporate the Oilers, any Oilers iconography into this new logo, but if they did, this is a pretty cool way to do it.
Well, for anyone who's followed me at Zach Cohen FB, shameless plug there, I guess. I know for a fact that they did test and prep designs with the oil derrick as a part of the sword, but more as like the handle of the sword. Whether that is a sticking point, whether it was well received, I don't know. But they were mocked up. I love the look of this, though. I mean, I still... I don't want to get into the whole discussion over the Oilers, Titans, what belongs where and whatnot. I have my opinions about it. I feel a little bit weird with the oil derrick that prominent in the Titans logo, but from like a purely design standpoint, that looks so good.
Yeah, Zach, if you think it belongs to the Texans, you're better off keeping your mouth shut on this show because it won't go over well with Graver and I or any of our viewers. But I will add that I love the idea, Graver. Like, I agree with, like, Zach hit the nail on the head. I always think it's because I'm biased, but the Oilers' aesthetics is the nicest in sports history. And I've never seen it. I own the Columbia Blue Warren Moon jersey. Like, I own I got the bomber. Like, I love everything about it. If they could find a way to tastefully incorporate the oil, match it up with the Titans, bring in the old and new together, God, what a dream come true that would be for me.
I do agree, though, Zach, that maybe it's a little too prominent for a team that is not the Oilers anymore. Right. They are the Titans. So moving it into a smaller position at the top as the handle of the sword, maybe, or an outline that is reminiscent of it, that does seem more likely. If they're going to incorporate it at all, that seems like a more likely way they would do it. We have some helmet mock-ups here. Another guy on Twitter who's been, leading the charge on mock-ups, James Ryan at Titans Oilers on Twitter. This is one of his helmet mock-ups. It incorporates a very similar sword with some of the oil derrick, like just what's the word I'm looking for? Lines, I guess. There's like one cross in there that has is a little reminiscent of that Oilers thing in the sword. So this is a cool helmet. I don't know if you have any beat on if the Titans are going to go back to a white helmet, if they're looking at more of a navy like they have now. A chrome,
Do you know how hard I've tried to find out what color the helmet's going to be? That's like the number one thing I want. There's a reason. So I have like these two. I've got like hundreds of Pocket Pro helmets. I refuse to buy the current Titans one. I like the white better, honestly, but I don't know. And James Ryan makes some really, really good designs, but like, man, I don't even love that helmet that much either, but I think I like the white better than the navy, or at least how the Titans did it. I can spend 30 minutes talking about what's wrong with the current Titans uniforms, and I'm not going to do that, but the white shell would be nice. They put a red face mask on it, maybe a little too Oilers-esque, but God, that's a good-looking design.
That's a good-looking helmet, man. Not the one you're wearing, Graver. I mean, I don't mind the white one. It looks worse on you than it does anywhere else, Graver. But on the Titans, like the mock, that is so clean and sweet.
I do like the red face mask quite a bit. Here's another one that James did. It's the same design, but the helmet is chrome.
Also
I don't know how I feel about chrome. Like, on the one hand, I think it'd be cool if they were like the team that was known for something, even if it was something that looks maybe more out of like Arena League than
it's a little XFL-ish, isn't it? Like,
I can tell you right now, the NFL does not want to do primary chrome helmets because they look terrible when they're hit. That type of paint material, that gets hit, it chips so easily. The marks are so apparent. College football teams, they want to shell out money every single game to have like different uniforms go for. The NFL does not want to do that. That's why there are rules in place to protect brand identity. But some teams, look at the Texans all red, battle red helmet. They use chrome paint flakes to give it more of a chrome feel, even though it's not chrome. So could teams be doing that more? We see matte and satin a little bit more utilized with helmets lately. All chrome, that's not going to happen.
Speaking of all chrome, here's another one. I don't know who created this one. I know Tyler Rowland, Tic Tac Titans, tweeted it out. This has the traditional current, sword logo on the side. Another red face mask one. We can move past this one pretty quickly, but just another design to throw out there. And then a couple more from Ghost Titan that are really cool video renderings he put up that so I'll say this. I don't know, obviously, where the Titans are going. I have, since the Vikings unveiled them however many years ago, I have loved matte helmets, and I would not mind seeing the Titans go to that as a primary helmet.
I like Matt a lot, and teams have been encouraged to use it a lot more, not just with their rivalries uniforms, but with their primary helmets. I don't like the use of silver at all with the Titans. I'm hoping that that's not the case. I think with that right one, I would like that center stripe a bit thin, but man, Ghost Titan is one of my favorite creators out there, putting all these designs and the renderings like that. They are pretty nice. Man, look at that. I think I like if the right one had a white helmet shell. That might be my favorite.
Yeah, I love that left one, man. I love the white Columbia blue combo. That looks so damn good.
God,
with red as a secondary color. Yes. And navy, if navy wants to be used in graphic design elements and stuff, they can still do that without putting it on the helmet or on the jersey. They can still incorporate navy elsewhere, which I think that would be the smartest move in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Any more of these?
This is all I got for helmets, but I have we can quickly look at some uniform concepts. So another one by James Ryan. This has the flameless T shield on the helmet. Obviously, the uniforms themselves here are very inspired by the Oilers with the Columbia blue jersey, the red stripes, the red shoes, but that's a Cam Ward thing. Red face mask. I don't know, obviously there would be tweaks to it. I would not be mad at this being the final design, though. I love the Oilers inspired, but reimagined for now. That's the sweet spot.
See, I might have a hot take. I mean, I like it a lot. As much as I would prefer, the sword logo to just that circular shield, I think the shield logo looks better on the helmet than the sword. I just think it fits the space better. So that's my hot take. I love it. Again, Oilers, Titans, whole other debate. But dang, I would love seeing that every single Sunday.
This is another one by Trey Wynn, and you can see again that Greek pattern in the circle logo above. Very similar to the James Ryan design we just looked at with the red stripes, the Columbia blue jerseys. Trey included a white alternate with the Columbia blue pant. Very interesting look. I'll run through one other one that I saw online. This is from @CFieldsVFL. It's got 3 designs here, a Columbia blue, a white, and a red alternate. Now, I don't know how much you know about Titans fans and their connection to the red jerseys that may or may not have ever existed, but there's been a hunt for the city of El Dorado, the rumored mythical red Titans jersey. I gotta say, I'm personally not a fan of it. Red as a secondary color and call back to the Oilers lineage, great. Red as the primary jersey for the two-tone blue Tennessee Titans doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
I'm kind of just putting this together now because I've already reported the teams that are getting new alternate jerseys and new alternate helmets in 2026. That's out there. Could there be more teams? In the past, we have seen a couple teams slip through the cracks, especially if it's a throwback, because then it has to go through a different process than creating a whole new look. The Titans were not one of those teams. And some of those teams on those lists are part of the teams that have had new rebrands. I'm doing the Charlie Day meme in real time right now. So part of me is thinking that if the Titans, I wouldn't be shocked. In fact, I'm kind of betting on it now that I say it, because if we know that the Titans are not, as of now, one of the teams to have applied for a new alternate jersey or new alternate helmet, I'm guessing they're only going to put out a primary home and away. And then they got their Rivalries uniform, which would mean 2027, when they unveil a new stadium, would make sense for a new alternate uniform. And this is the one thing I told y'all I haven't said anywhere else, and I'll leave y'all with this. I guess based on that information, it might not be happening, but I know for a fact that the Titans discussed internally and tested oil-based uniforms. Dark, whether it was a black or all navy, I'm not entirely sure. But think about an all-dark Titans uniform with the numbering on the jerseys, that light blue style. But maybe that might be a 2027 thing, because we know the facts off of that. So there you have it. I've seen Titans fans in my mentions all the time asking for red jerseys, by the way. I've seen some cool mock-ups. I'm kind of with you, though.
I got one last one to show you, Zach, and then we'll let you go.
Oh.
This is one from @Robbie Green. This is my favorite. This is my favorite concept I've seen. It's the Columbia blue with a gray sleeve. There's a red stripe in there, but the red is not quite as prominent. It's a little more muted. The black nameplate with the white numbers. I don't know what it is about this one. I love this design.
I like the numbers. I try to stay away from, too basic of numbers because all Steelers fans want them to go from the italicized numbers to the block numbers. And I'm like, I'm here for it. But if every team does that, it's not really unique, not super good of a look. I have never really been a fan of the Titans jersey numbers, not in the Chris Johnson era, not now. But I feel like a block number, for as good as a design as this is, I feel like that block font doesn't really fit them that well. But it's a good looking uniform. I prefer, honestly, like my shoulder, my sleeve colors to just have the same backdrop. But I don't think I'd hate this at all.
It reminds me of some of the Cowboys Thanksgiving throwbacks that they've worn,
Yeah.
where it was like a blue chest and white shoulder with the Navy star.
Oh,
all right, that's all I got. Justin, you have any final thoughts before we let Zach go?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Zach, thank you so much for coming on. And to reiterate what the first thing Zach said, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, this is happening. The Titans will have new uniforms and new logos, potentially plural there, in 2026. And we are probably weeks, if not a month and a half away from something dropping, whether it's an official teaser or whatever. We're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to have new uniforms this season.
I am hoping, I'm praying that another team. So I reported about the Falcons in December, and then it happened. So that was great. My phone was blowing up about that. I was happy. I'm really hoping that a team just decides to drop a teaser the Monday after the Super Bowl. But we said this. I've said this for the last few years now. Patience is the key to a lot of this. I'll have some of my mentions blown up. Why haven't they announced it yet? I'm like, dude, I told you. It's July, it's August, things like that. So Rivalries uniforms, by the way, end of August, beginning of September, the week before football season.
Interesting. All right, everyone. Go follow Zach everywhere, all the social platforms @Zach Cohen FB. That's COHEN, Zach Cohen FB. You posted just recently, within the last 24 hours or so on the Titans. I'm sure you'll have more when you know more. So Titans fans out there, if you want to stay up to date on all the latest rumors and reports for the Titans uniforms, make sure you're following Zach on Twitter, on TikTok. You do Instagram?
I hate Instagram so much, but it's there. People tag me in it. That's pretty much it at this point. I do have a YouTube, but I really just post on Shorts. Twitter and TikTok are the main sources at this point.
Anything else you want to plug before we say goodbye?
No, I just love talking uniforms so much. This was great. Happy to be on. You guys ever want anyone on? Hopefully we can align our schedules again. Melo, it was great talking with you again. I'm really excited for this. Hopefully there's something that we could all be excited about, Titans fans and football fans. Good luck in the draft. Good luck in the off season. I'll be in Nashville in a couple weeks for a weekend. So maybe who knows what else I could find there. Who knows? Yeah. I've done it before. I live in Atlanta.
Poke around a bit at those team stores, see what you find. Zach, we really appreciate your time. Thanks, and have a good one.
Appreciate it, guys.
Wow, thanks again to Zach for his time there. Man, that was some awesome insight. Broke some news for us that he hasn't shared anywhere else. Midnight oil blackout jerseys, man, that concept has me super excited. I hope he's wrong and they're not waiting till 2027 to debut that one, but it does line up if you think about it. The Rivalries uniform will serve as the alternate for 2026, and then it still gives them something new to unveil along with the stadium in 2027. The new uniforms will be one season in, but how about some new alternates to go along with those? Could lead to some fun, in-game experiences for fans, like a blackout night or an oiled out. That doesn't really make sense, but type of night. Man, do you remember when they unveiled the Oilers throwbacks a couple of years ago and they used the oil animation or whatever? I don't know. That's a super exciting concept to me.
That was just incredible, unbelievable stuff from Zach. But I'm not even going to get ahead of myself to 2027 alternates. I can't wait to see these. 2026, a new primary home, primary away jersey, a new logo, a new secondary logo. That's the stuff that I'm excited about. Yes, I'm curious to see the rivalry jersey, but that's going to be a one-off. Yes, I'm excited to see a 2027 alternate potentially, but what I want is a new primary, new primary home jersey, new primary away jersey. Zach's got me fired up, man. This thing is coming pretty soon, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're going to know about this. I'm glad we're doing the episode now because I'd hate to miss it. Like, Monday after Super Bowl is less than a week away.
Great day.
Could that be the day the Titans have pinned to make this announcement, or will it come later? Like he said, and like we agree, it's got to be before the draft. You don't want your new draft pick going up there holding up a jersey that's about to become extinct that he's never even going to wear. So you definitely need it before the draft. That means at most we're 2.5 months away from finding out what these new jerseys are going to look like. Are they going to do another huge reveal show like they did on Broadway in 2018 with the star players coming out in the new uniforms? Maybe so. That would be a pretty cool thing for us to cover if it does happen. So I'm looking forward to it. I haven't, like I said, I haven't even really given much thought to the new uniform thing until all this information really started to spin out of control, and the fan mock-ups, those are spinning way out. Some of you guys need to cool it. Some of you guys have done an awesome job, but some of the designs are like, I get it. We'll just try anything and see what sticks. But interesting to hear the Titans have tested out designs that incorporate the oil derrick. Like, really cool stuff to expect over the next few months. We'll see how long it takes. Justin, real quick before we get out of this episode, the Titans did hire Gus Bradley. So we covered it yesterday without covering it, as has happened to us. Like we mentioned with Zach, we say something and then 2 hours later, the news drops. So hopefully the Titans don't announce their new team logo in 4 hours and render this episode nonsense. But yeah, really excited about that. Gus Bradley, a perfect fit, as we said yesterday. Titans also hired a safeties coach, Marquand Manuel. We'll talk about that stuff tomorrow. Maybe we'll have some more staff additions by then. Today was a uniform day, and I think we covered it pretty dang well, Justin.
I would say so. I mean, incredible stuff from Zach once again. So gracious for his time. Thankful he came on and gave us all the, again, not just speculation, but actual sourced reporting that he is confidently confirming this is happening in either a couple of weeks or like 2 months max time. We could be a week out, we could be 2 months out, but we're somewhere in that range. Can't wait to see new logo, new uniforms, things of that nature. Thank you so much to Zach for coming on.
Absolutely agree with that. Thanks again to Zach. So you guys out there who are watching along, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in a comment below. Do you prefer the sword or the shield as the primary? Do you want to see the Navy go away and have them call back to the Oilers color scheme? What are your thoughts on the uniform and helmet mock-ups we showed today? Let us know in the comments below. We'll be back tomorrow, again, talking Titans staff additions. Hopefully we have more by tomorrow. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the day and in the morning. But until then, y'all stay safe out there and tighten up.
A Broadway sports media production.